approve minutes from June 6, 2017.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And then we're gonna move to item number 53 first, take it a little out of order here. Let's step up here. What's your first name again?
My name is Parminder
How's
Singh.
it going?
Parminder Singh.
Okay.
Nickname is my Goldie. My wife name is Iqbal Kaur.
Oh, so this is, basically, this is your application. Okay.
If I may, I'm sorry, and if you have something to go over, I know Scott and Jenna had some differing opinions on this, whether or not there needs to be a
Oh,
special
Scott was
use.
different? Yeah, okay, go
I
ahead.
think they might have been, Scott said he kind of threw an opinion off the cuff.
Okay, first of all, we're not gonna be voting on this tonight. I've been asked to hold it, so we're not gonna vote on this one tonight. But this is the old Colony. We okayed a license to him, some time before, but the license was never issued. Okay, because he was in the process of purchasing.
Yeah.
So, you wanna give the,
Right, and so Jenna took a look at everything, I have her email here, but essentially, because nothing was in use here, nothing had happened, there would need to be a special use permit
Right.
for this 2017-18 application.
okay.
It doesn't have a vested property interest at this point.
So what does Scott say?
I don't know Scott's opinion because he didn't give an email on it. He just said in his email, Jenna's opinion is different than the one I gave, and Jenna's opinion is the correct one.
Oh!
Is not the correct?
Is the correct.
Is the
And
correct.
we're on air, so I had to
Yeah.
say it.
Okay, so as I said to you before, you're gonna have to go to development and get that, apply for the special use permit.
Okay.
But, but as far as, like I said, we're gonna hold it tonight. I don't know if anybody has any questions on this. This is also the one everybody knows that, the neighborhood got all up in arms that we're gonna be giving out another liquor permit in this area. So me and Vince will be dealing with that. But no, I realize it's just your opinion, Nick, but legally, if the entire neighborhood doesn't want it, can we say no?
I believe that's part of the special use process is they're gonna have a chance to voice that concern, and that's something that is gonna be potentially.
But as far as a legal standpoint,
I think that's one of the reasons why we made it special use, is that
Oh.
that's gonna be part of the decision-making process.
so if they go to,
If everything is there and we don't have a real reason not to, and we've been approving other licenses similar to this, they've gone through the special use procedure, and that's going to be at the decision that the committee or common
Planning
council in
commission,
general is going to have to make, but
Okay.
or planning commission, right? The goal of putting it through the special use application process is to have a few more areas of input, being from the community, to have some more stake or requirements in terms of the aesthetics and site plan and everything
Right.
along those lines. And so I think that's part of the goal of this. Now, I'd have to be very careful to make sure that the decisions that we make are lawful and not going to be the community's voicing improper
Right.
concerns, but
okay.
that would be what we'd have to talk about in the future.
Okay, so, does anybody have any questions for
Yeah,
them?
just one.
Mike?
Nick, basically what you're saying is the special use that we're now requiring allows us to look a little deeper into the idea of a public nuisance.
Correct.
And that's where that'll get taken up.
Correct.
Okay, so go to development, they'll give you the time frame,
Okay.
so you can figure it all in, and what things cost and everything. Okay?
Okay. So how do we why might have to be closing the property,
Mm-hmm.
soon. So if I buy property, if you guys issue the license there, but I want to be open a not liquor store. I opening like in grocery in there, all for neighborhoods and barber shop, other things, making nice that
Other
corner there.
businesses, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm spending like a half million over there, That's property.
That's for the property and for everything?
Property and not everything. Left after groceries are left side only for what idea I have right now remodeling. Inside have restaurant. I want to fast food restaurant open in there. Outside have 3 shop. I have idea that how to I take a 3 shop is be opening outside like a window, glass something to see people outside to inside.
Right.
All lighting everything, and that wall over there take it down and want make to be Customers see inside the
Okay.
store, you know.
Which wall is that now, below
That
it or
below it,
58?
one below it, like a west in the building,
Okay,
one in north side,
okay,
north side wall.
so the east side wall will stay the way it is.
East one stays side, that side have restaurant and exit door. So
Okay.
we need exit door for two door, you know, one for
Okay.
emergency.
That sounds good. I think go for the special use and so we can get everything going. They'll give you a time frame so you can figure out your closing and everything and how it's all gonna work. And, now Nick, if it came on, if we have a regular meeting this month, can it be voted on, subject to necessary requirements like before? And one of them being the special use, or how does that work? Obviously, he wants to know as soon as he can when he could get the liquor license. You know, and so if not then we're gonna wait till the 11th, maybe the next meeting.
I don't see why it'd be any different if we want to act on it now.
Well, we're not gonna act on it today, I've been acting,
Okay.
but we'd act on it at, fourth Tuesday of the month,
I think that'd be fine. I mean, we've put on
if we're having a meeting.
subject to. He's got to have the new or new-ish, I guess, at this point. Special use permit, all the other conditions and requirements for licensing. Being that, the only question I have in my mind is being that the special use goes through another committee, whether or not we can make that decision here. I'll have to look into that.
Okay. Okay. Any more questions?
No, that's all.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I just have a question for you. So you don't own the property now?
No,
And your purchase is, are you using a lawyer for the purchase or you're?
no,
familiar with this?
lawyer have a city have a lawyer. I working with him, you know, my agent.
Okay.
So
okay.
they
So-
accept offer already.
So the offer is subject
Accepted.
to getting the licensing?
Yes.
Or contingent
You're
upon.
contingent upon
Yeah.
it. I
Otherwise,
just wanna make sure you don't buy the property and it turns out that the special use process is too onerous,
right.
too expensive.
If I buy property before I don't get any license there, you know.
I just wanna make sure
what
you're
is
covered
my-
on that, yeah, so,
So then I will stuck for property there, you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
corner there, you know.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Any more questions?
Part of, obviously, it's kind of the cart before the horse and vice versa. In order to get a license, you also have to have and prove you have right to premises as well. And so that might be one of the conditions you have to prove. And so if we're gonna have to, it's gonna be a little finicky because you want to make sure you have the license before you can get approved for the premises, is what you're saying, or what
Right.
you want to buy it. We also need that proof in order to give you a license, so we might have to be approved
Right.
subject to in that sense as
Subject
well.
to next week. Like, that's the way we did last.
Offer to purchase letters.
Yeah, accepted
Yeah, I
offer of
have that.
purchase.
Yeah, these are not.
Oh, you don't have to show it, that's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through.
Just pointing it out.
Yeah, okay. So seed development tomorrow, about the
Okay.
special use, and we'll go from there?
Okay. So who I have to speak with there?
John, that's Steve, right? Special use? Pardon me?
Yes.
Okay, Steve Sher,
Upstairs in Department
Okay.
of Development.
yeah.
I think I speak with him last time too.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
And commission.
Okay. So we have, we're gonna go back to number 47 here. Stephen Kling. Stephen Kling, it's a new license, not here. Okay. Heather DeJesus?
DeJesus.
DeJesus.
Something happens all the time.
Yeah, I know.
I was sitting in the wrong room, that's why I came in late, sorry.
Okay, this is a renewal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, and you're in front of us. You've got the OWI this year, since the last one. And that's the only one you have?
Yeah, I've had my license for 21 years.
Okay, well, obviously that's why you're in front of us now. And you get some more, then you may be in front of us to take your license away.
I understand that, yeah.
And so,
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair?
I'll second that.
Based on nice handwriting, of course.
Don't put that in there.
any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
Heather, showing driver's license revoked.
It shouldn't be right now, I did everything I had to do.
Am I reading this correctly?
I have a,
In the
What do
police
they call
report
it?
section?
Occupational
Yeah,
license?
occupational,
Oh,
and
yep.
I have the SSR, SR 22.
Okay.
I have all that, I did it right away. And that's good until August.
With
Okay.
the OWI, there's a mandatory vacation period, and so that's probably the same part and parcel of the same stuff.
Okay,
Yeah, I went to the DMV, I have my new picture, you know, everything. is-
okay. I just saw this here, and I see that you don't live within what most people would call walking distance from where you work, and I was just wondering how you can get around. But if you have an occupational, you see you have an occupational.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, it's
Fine
good
with
till
me.
August.
Okay.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you,
Now,
guys.
it goes to the council meeting tonight,
Okay,
and vote on it, and you can pick up the license after 10?
We'll mail this one out June 23rd.
Oh, that's right, this is
So-
next year's.
so
Okay.
they still have to vote on it then, so it's not for sure yet?
No, it'll get voted
You
on.
got,
and it'll
you got
take-
half the council here, so.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, do I have to go to that meeting too?
No,
No.
you
Oh,
don't have
okay, thank you.
to.
They'll trust us.
Okay, thanks.
Susan Jessian. How you doing? Okay, so we get two applications. One for the 16-17 license. And one, so why do we have one for 16-17?
6500 was revoked. The old new
Right.
6500 was revoked.
Yes.
Okay, as owner of the property, she had,
90 days she can reapply.
and when is the 90 days up to, do we know?
I'm fairly certain we'd be within that, but I can double check when that revocation took place.
That was about a month or two ago.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
I think we're within
That's
that
what, in my
window.
mind, I'm thinking it was a month or two ago.
That's why I was asking, why was she
In
applying?
case there was a possibility within that 90 days that there would be other applications for other businesses'
Oh, so someone else
locations,
wouldn't take it.
we would be at quota and she wouldn't
Oh.
have the license.
No.
Okay. Which obviously we're never gonna get. Now, everybody's familiar with the place. You're just applying for the license, so, so the license stays there so you can sell the place.
I have the building for sale,
Right,
and we've had a lot of people looking at it,
to buy.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I also have it for lease, and there's a million of those, but I'm screening them, they're not,
Yeah. You haven't,
I
hit-
won't,
you haven't hit one that's good, any good.
no, most of them were from the last people, they
Right.
were
Friends of theirs or
customers,
something.
and I,
Oh.
not going with that.
Well, it's good, cause we don't want that there. So, no, we never, took the license away from you, we took it away from your son, correct?
Yes,
Right, yes, and I think that's when you applied, that's when you got involved, I think.
right, exactly.
You know, and so,
Is that, I know there was a issue in 2009 and 13 with the same location.
Yes.
Okay. And both of none of those were yours?
No. I think 13, I think your name was on the license.
That was the suspension
No, no.
for 14 days, I think.
Yeah.
okay.
I've had tenants for the last 3 years, 4 years.
No, we're saying that there was
Oh,
that we shut you down for 14 days when the license was under your name. I don't,
Yeah, I believe there was a stipulation between the city attorney's office, Jenna Merton, Susan Jesse, and her attorney at the time for the 6500 Bar LLC regarding a 14-day suspension.
okay, so we did, I don't want to see, I don't see that there. Olin Wagner,
So, you're not gonna operate right now?
only if I have to. I
Well-
don't want to,
well,
but I
that-
have
that-
it for sale, but I don't know how long. Otherwise I'll have to find somebody to go in there. I'm trying to hold the license for that property, otherwise I won't be able to sell it.
No, we understand
Yeah.
that, but and I guess my question is, or if the right tenant came along, then
I would lease.
you would lease it,
Yes.
and that's certainly
But I
within,
let them,
that's certainly within your right to do, you know.
I wanna sell, period.
Yeah.
I wanna get out of, that's the main thing, but if I can't, I've got a big mortgage that I'm really in a hole now,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
um,
I guess with the previous 14-day suspension on your personal record, that I wouldn't be, and I know that if you were gonna, if you were gonna operate it, you wouldn't physically be operating it. You'd hire some
I'm a
manager.
little old for
Well,
that.
I'm not saying that, I'm just saying.
I am.
But, and I guess that's our concern, that would be my concern, is if we grant you this license now, and you say, well, I have the license, and I can hire a manager, and he can open up and run the joint, you know, and,
I really don't wanna do
well,
that.
I understand you're saying that.
I have to.
I'm understand you saying that, and it may come to that, I'm just, you know, I look at the application that you have here, you know, I mean, I guess it's not, I won't call it, it's not a serious application. You have alcohol sales 30%, food sales 70%. That's not within the realm of possibility for the
Oh.
application, I don't.
That's
So,
kinda what I get.
yeah.
What I was looking for was somebody with a restaurant.
Yes,
And I told that to everybody that I
Yeah.
interviewed.
yeah,
I want it to be mainly food.
yeah. And you
And
know,
hoping they close like 10 o'clock at night or something,
Yeah.
if they have the day food crowd.
yeah, and you know Cousins is, we're building next door, you
Yeah.
know that, right? Okay.
So my realtor said he went to Starbucks, to every single one, he never approached Cousins. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I guess that's, I mean, are all the other necessary requirements met? Do we know? Do we know, Ann, how far away she is from meeting the rest? I understand the idea is that the building is really not worth a lot without the liquor license attached.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find a valued buyer, somebody who can make a nice business out of it, or
Yes.
barring that, a good tenant that will operate a nice establishment there. But I would be, I'm concerned, not that we don't trust you, it's just that there's that problem, that corner's been problematic. And we don't want it, we want to move forward, not
Oh,
backwards.
so do I,
Yeah.
believe me.
Yeah, yeah. So, I guess, is there some way that we could guarantee that if we grant this license, that before it opens up, the actual management would have to come back before us? Is there a
Well-
process, is there a,
Well, she would be the agent,
yeah, she's the agent
so if she has
currently.
somebody running it,
Well, she can have,
You
I'm the
would
agent for
change
my
the
place,
agent.
I can hire a manager and let him run the joint, the way the
Right.
law is, you know, it's
Right.
like, I mean,
but I'm saying that if she hires somebody to run it, if he becomes the, you know, you make that person the agent.
well, she wouldn't necessarily have to make him the
Right,
agent.
true.
So, I, you know,
How long would if I don't find anyone right away, how long can I be
Not-
without opening?
yeah, the law says 30 days, I believe, at which time the committee, if we have a concern about, we'd ask you to come back and explain to us what's going on.
Okay.
So, yeah, the market's hot right now, you know, a bunch of
Oh,
stuff is
we're-
gonna start happening
we're-
across the street from you.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So,
I wish I could hold on longer because I think might be more, they'll
well,
turn it
anybody,
down, of
anybody
course, but
forward looking, I think, knows what's going on,
Yeah.
kitty corner from you there.
I'm too old.
Right on,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
wanna
We're all
wait
too
for
old.
any of that.
Doesn't keep us from,
So,
do you understand my concern?
I know she's concerned. Alderman May.
So a couple things. One, this does say restaurant, 70% food, 30% alcohol sales. If another person came in and it opened as a bar and they're just selling bar pizza, technically the license wouldn't match what the
Application.
the application was. So I don't know if there'd be grounds to remove it, but it would certainly be.
But wouldn't they have to go and,
That's right.
I'm sorry.
There's the question in terms of the plan of operation, what we can do with that.
Mhm.
Generally, if we're gonna try to enforce something that's a plan of operation, we either say we agree or we would then move to revoke you. And so if that's what we're granting the license on now, what I'm saying is it's not automatically binding for anybody that moves in there. It's something that we can try to enforce. The ability to enforce those different plans of operations is questionable.
Yeah. Well, and then the second comment I had is, I don't believe giving licenses to operators so they can sell it is a valid reason to let them retain a license. At the same time, I understand that in a way we want the license to maybe to go with the property. So I'm wondering, is there a way to just hold this indefinitely? How long can we hold on a license before granting it?
I believe 9.01, the provision that says, well, that's primarily for non-operation. For revocation is for non-operation, that we have about 90 days. the previous occupant was revoked for multiple other reasons, not being, non-operation, so I don't know if those 90 days necessarily apply in this instance. I think Ann's analysis right off the bat was correct, that if somebody else wants to jump in and try to take it, there's that option that it happens. If the committee is looking to see something along the lines of getting a buyer on the hook and making the determination at that point, I think there's some leeway to do so, and I think there's precedent that we've kind of given people time a little bit to do that in the past. I can think of one off the top of my head that he had to clean up his place, or something along those lines. I would advise the committee that it'd be a fairly short leash. This would have to be a fairly quick process.
And I guess what I'm saying is I'd rather not give it until we have to, or until there's someone there. So we're saying we're holding it for the place, but show us a buyer so we can put it underneath their name, right?
Either as
Or-
an agent, or they can have an operation plan that actually fits whatever the plan is gonna be for the business, since the statements today are that this is kinda just a placeholder. I think the application says proposed or something like that in terms of the 70-30 split.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says proposed, yeah.
I just wonder what we can do to.
See-
You see where I'm going with it?
I know what you're saying, and I know where you're going. The problem is, if all of a sudden something comes through and now we don't have any license, we'd have to go over quota,
I'm saying
which I don't think we ever went over quota just for a bar.
right. Which we want a restaurant there anyway, right?
Right,
Yeah, she says she wants a restaurant there.
yeah, but it's,
I'm just saying technically to the letter of the ordinance, we're not supposed to be granting them as a piece in selling a property. We typically allow it in the past because otherwise you don't want these properties sitting there without an adaptive use of some sort. So I'm trying to find some middle ground between the two.
How close are we to quota, do we know?
This is it, right?
One, I believe,
not including this.
correct.
So
I mean,
this-
we could hold it this time. I just wonder, we could hold it this time, right? And then we could wait and could you report back to us maybe on the 11th and let us know what is the maximum amount of time we can hold
Sure.
an application like this
Well-
for this property?
Are we gonna have a meeting on the 4th? Is there enough stuff for the
Like
agenda?
11th, I think, right?
Council
no.
will be meeting in it
The
again on
regular
July
license and
11th.
health meeting is the 4th Tuesday.
That is also National Night Out,
Oh,
so
So we will not
in the
be-
past, we've tried to cancel it.
okay.
So if anything, we could have a special
Okay, so
meeting
we
before
will.
council on the 11th.
Okay,
Yes, Nick?
And just to advise the council, I mean, just so we're very clear, there's the 2008-2009 Department of Revenue search, which resulted in drug issues with one of
Her
with
son.
Scott's.
Yes, her
right.
son.
Yeah.
2013-14, Scott wasn't supposed to be there, and Scott was there tending bar, and then there was synthetic marijuana. That was part of the stipulation that he couldn't work there anymore, and then obviously the new 6500 bar getting revoked last time. There is that pattern of conduct there, which I want to point out to the committee is something that's concerning, and the committee is well aware of that. And I'd also note that I just was looking to be informed myself about how many contacts there have been, and by the time I left for trials this morning and I came back, there was a new a new call for service on 6/20 today. That call was eventually canceled. It was a truck sitting behind the company, or behind the business. The call was canceled because it ended up just being the owner's son, being Scott. And so it's just an interesting pattern that we're continuing to see at the location. I mean, maybe it wasn't Scott, maybe another son, but that's what the call said.
What was that last one?
Today?
Today, a blue truck sitting behind there. Some caller thought it was suspicious, and the cops went out, and it turned out to be just.
He was cleaning the basement.
And that's
The
fine,
last
and he's not.
tenant, they left a mess in there, he's in
Yeah.
there cleaning.
The stipulation isn't really hold true anymore. That Scott can't be involved. Doesn't last forever, but it's just interesting to see. I wanted the committee to be aware of that fact. The other issue is that under the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions, and I think this came up in one of the other stipulations or issues, one of the other complaints, the 6500 bar, your LLC isn't up to date with WDFI. It's administratively dissolved at this point. So that'd be
No,
something-
I redid all of that.
As of today, it still says administratively dissolved.
I didn't bring the paperwork, they said, mailed it to me.
Okay. And it could have a leg in the system with
Yeah,
department,
I
and
don't
financial
understand
institutions,
that
but
at all.
that's one thing that would also have to be figured out.
Yeah, we're gonna,
I'll definitely check on that.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold this until the 11th.
Okay, then what kind of security do I have as far as, and then the fees for the license have to be paid on the 25th, is it?
You'd pay those fees before we'd issue the license to operate. So if you don't have all
Cause I
the
hate to pay that and then
Right.
it's.
Yeah, if you don't have all the
Really,
requirements, then we wouldn't need those fees by the 23rd. So that wouldn't be an issue at this time.
Your guarantees, I don't know if anybody else is gonna apply for the other one, but, you know, between now and then, there is no other meeting as far as anybody else applying for it, so. You know, as far as you know, no one has applied for
As
the,
far as I know.
right,
So you're first in.
and so, so that's all I can give you as far as a guarantee, so, okay?
okay.
Okay. Tina Minto? Minto. Okay, this is the license that we transferred from National here.
Yep.
And now you're applying for the new license.
Yep, exactly.
And there's a change of
LLC.
LLC. That's mainly the things. Nothing else has changed? You've been running the other bar okay? We haven't had any complaints since you've been running it?
No, food starts,
Don't want any?
July 1st,
Okay.
so. Well, it essentially could have started already, but we made a start date of July 1st.
Do you have all the license and all the requirements? Okay.
I just needed to, shop around and see what vendors that's a lot of work.
Yeah, but, because of the new LLC, that's why you had to come in front of us
Yep.
again. Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Was easy.
Yeah, this time.
Yes.
Okay, then we have, 52. This is, the farmer's wife, application. You, once again, you're changing the, yeah, kind of,
LLC.
I'm sorry, Robin, yeah, come on. Okay, this application was 17-18 license, and, there's a change in the LLC also.
Yes.
I'll move approval.
A second.
Okay, is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Owen Wayne?
I don't recall the patio, you have a patio out back?
Yep.
And your license to serve out there?
Yep.
Okay, I just didn't remember, I didn't
We
remember that.
approved that right away,
You
even though
applied for it
I
and got that
didn't
right-
have
right,
the
okay.
patio
Yeah,
open yet.
okay. And they walk through that hallway back there to get out there?
That's, they can go right out there, they don't even have to come in.
I mean, there's a corridor, if you walk down the bar,
Yeah, there's a little hallway that'll
there's a
go
little
right
jog
outside.
in the hallway that goes right out to the patio.
Yep,
Okay.
and it no longer goes upstairs to the apartment or anything, that's all been sealed off
Oh, okay,
by Mark. So, it's a direct shot.
okay, that was my only question. How are things going? Good?
Good, yeah. So,
Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
okay, I don't have to go anywhere else tonight,
No.
right? This was
No.
it? Thank you all so much.
You bet. Thank you.
Okay, then we have 54 and 55. This is for, let's see, who's here? Andrew Vapp?
See Andrew. I know everybody else in the room.
Andrew Vapp. Hold it. See if they still come. Okay, then we have, Jose. Let's see Jose.
No, Jose. He's not here either. This is 2 in a row, right?
3 appearance requests, 2 certified mails. Now, this is where he came in. They're already doing work on the place. see that. Well, I guess if we,
We would
Places
normally
that-
move for denial
yeah.
based on 2 non-appearances
yeah,
on a
There's
regular
3
bartending license, but that's not something we normally do on the combination
well,
B.
it will get them in again.
I was gonna say, Mr. Chair,
Hold on a minute.
that would get him in, and you could always reconsider the next meeting.
Okay.
I mean, if that's the problem, we're not getting his attention.
I don't know why he's not coming in. He was so interested in this
Well, yeah.
and everything, so, and, you know, we don't have a problem with it except for when you're called in, you should come in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at his application, he's got, his application was dated last May. I think that's the right one. Am I looking at the right one? No, I think I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm sorry.
I think that's when he came in for the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old double dragon is this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So we, to have a motion to just deny or place it in file? We can't just place it in file.
Well, if we deny, does that automatically put us one more under quota?
Mr. Chair? Nick,
Yes.
if he was granted a 16-17, but it hasn't been issued yet,
We need to do someone's complaint.
thank you.
We have to do
Oh,
something.
there we go.
Sorry, yeah.
So you guys gotta go through all that work just to get his attention?
Done it before.
You just push a button and it prints
Okay.
out now, right?
Yeah, I wish.
So, what,
Make a
so do I have a motion to go
Easy
to summons and complaint?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'm just gonna leave that there. Okay, did, let's
No,
see.
no, he did not.
Stephen Kling?
No.
And we didn't see. Okay. And Ron? See? First name basis, you've been here so much. Okay, where are you sitting right now? Oh, yeah, nothing.
Yeah. Hired someone to do the plans properly.
Okay.
So basically, he's gonna work on the plans, and the plans were dropped off, actually, my electrician took them up tonight, and should have those plans hopefully to the building electrical inspector within 5 days.
Okay. And how about all the other things? Well, you don't have the flooring, but you, like you said, you wanna wait to put the flooring till after they're all doing the construction work's done, correct?
Yeah, this is the main thing, if I can get this
This is
approved, then we can send the inspectors, all of them in there to do my ceiling, and then once they approve that, I can close my ceilings and do my floor.
Okay, so you think it's all gonna work? Okay, Tom, did you have anything, or? no?
Well, I talked to Ron yesterday on the phone and asked him to get a commitment from an electrical contractor to get the plans drawn up. Apparently he's done
Right.
that. And I said I'd be willing to go until August first. Firm date of August first opening of both the restaurant and the tavern.
Okay. Committee can go with that?
Mr. Chair,
Hold on a minute.
I'm not gonna approve it tonight, but I'll hold it till August 1st to approve the license.
Okay, this is a renewal, isn't it? Of course, he was never issued it. So we're back in,
The options that the committee has, as far as I'm aware of or I can think of, is A, reinstate the findings of fact and revoke on the 16-17, which would revoke him for the he wouldn't be able to apply for the 17-18. Let that lapse, he would get essentially that property interest that we just talked about in the 17-18 potentially, and if it gets past the 17-18 license, could issue another summons and complaint. We don't have to approve the 17-18 right now. We can just wait, or we can approve it and revoke it later.
okay, the summons and complaint is on 16-17 then?
Correct.
So we have
So
to-
anything that goes past that summons complaint is, and those findings of fact are
Okay.
They wouldn't be, yeah, they're useless.
So I personally, I think we put down August 1st, drop dead date, you know, and not done, you're out of luck. You know, you open up a restaurant with no liquor license. But as far as, I don't know, the rest of the committee? Dan?
I
just said, hurt your mouth all the time.
It'll be Packer season again, I guarantee it.
Yeah, well, no, there won't. Well, that's right, they
No,
do
no, I'm
start
sure
in
it will,
August.
because it just, this has been going
Well,
on
he's
for
gonna-
almost 3 years now.
He's gonna prove you wrong on this one. So-
Really?
Let's hope so, yes.
Mr. Chair?
Okay, Alden Weigel.
I see Ed Lisinski's here, and so I don't know if you've seen the email, it says, this is from Gary Manders, Wisconsin District Department Manager, Lighting, Crescent Electric Supply in Appleton. It says, I will work on lighting and egress calculation print for the Choice Pub and Eatery project for you and Al from Al's Electric. So, Al's Electric is the electrician?
Yes.
And he's licensed to do business in our city, because I can't imagine the district manager at Crescent Electric Supply is licensed as an electrician in West Dallas, is he?
He might not be, but somebody. at
Somebody from there.
Crescent Electric would.
I just wanted to make sure that we are not all holding this letter in our hand going, oh yeah, he's making progress, and then you'd say, well, that guy can't do that job.
Right.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I haven't seen that, so I don't know him personally, but somebody at Crescent Electric should be able to do that. yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Because personally, I'm tired of this too. But I think we're getting a different commitment here now. Previously, we had been asking Ron here just to have the bar open by a certain
Right.
date. Now, we're saying August 1st, the bar and the restaurant. Now, I'm gonna ask, as someone in the business, do you have a restaurant manager? Do you have any staff hired? Do you have a menu even?
I have a menu. It's not exactly perfect how I want to do it, but
Well, I guess the point is, I can see that on August 1st, you'll be openable, and I guess that's really all we expect, is that you have approvals from all our departments and the health department, everybody's like, you can open up, okay? But, you know, it's a tough labor market out there now, you know that, I don't know.
Right, yeah, I do
You know,
know
when it
that.
comes to hiring competent restaurant folks, yeah. So you're gonna be sitting here on August 4th or whatever the first Tuesday is saying, I'm all ready to go and I'm all approved, but I can't hire enough people to work here. You know, so I guess I don't want anybody to be shocked by that if that's what happens. I mean, our goal is to get him through the process where he can open up the doors and customers can come in and spend money. I think that's what we want, right? But-
unless you want to come
Or
to work for me too.
do we, do we,
That's what it sounds
well, that's what I'm saying. I don't want anybody to be surprised that when he's not open on August 1st.
I will have.
Well, but I think our goal is to get the place all done, obviously open.
Yeah, if that's our
So
goal,
now you're
then we should
saying-
say, you know what? And maybe you don't have to be open 7 days a week. Maybe you don't have to be open 3 days a week. Maybe if you just open up every Monday, you know, with just 3 employees or something, or whatever. If what's our expectation?
To finish the.
Well, open is open.
Please.
Yeah.
Open's gotta be open at least one day every 30 days.
Hey, Tom?
That hasn't happened yet.
Mr. Chairman, all I care about is that he's open, can take customers in at this time.
Oh.
I can understand if he can't get enough help to service 12 hours a day or 7 days a week, that's his business. If he wants to close 5 days or 6 days a week, that's his business. As long as he's able to be open, he's got the license, he's able to be open, he's able to utilize the restaurant and the license, that's what my concern is. I know as a business person, he's got an investment, he's not gonna leave it sit closed forever. When he gets his help on board, he feels he can open 7 days a week or whatever it is, he's gonna do that.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Roll.
I see the health commissioner here. Sally, do you have any input that you could share with us, or, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but,
Dan had gone over there, but nobody was there to see, because we heard the restaurant part was moving along.
okay,
And we're just waiting for the, food permit renewal.
okay, thank you.
Okay,
Are we gonna hold it then?
yeah, we're gonna hold it. I don't think we're gonna vote on it.
And then, if I could ask Nick, are you saying that as of July 1st, the summons and complaint is null and void? For the,
We moved on that, he was revoked, that was all rescinded, and so we could reinstate it. But yeah, it would effectively, at the end of the month, we'll have to do that part again if that's what you guys wanna do.
so basically, if you got approved, and August 1st comes and he's not open, it's gonna be another summons and complaint.
Process.
Another
Mhm.
whole 2-3 month process. Is there any way to somehow get that summons and complaint to carry over?
No, it's
So
for,
different license.
I'd have to reissue all that stuff, and that's fine, it'd be a very similar fact pattern. and
Except
it
he
would-
has to accept the sub.
It would be service again, we can, I'm not too worried about the timeline there, we can act pretty quickly. If we really want to, we can keep this on a pretty short leash and see where everything is going, and, I mean, honestly, that's what I'd advise the committee to do, is that August is a ways away, if we wanna set it for something in the intermediate time and say, hey, where is everything, and if it's not looking anywhere close, tell me to get
Yep.
someone's complaint for the 4th, and I'll have it ready to go, and we can figure out what we wanna do then.
It's not that far away.
Well, I suppose it's
So
only a
you're
month
saying
and a
as
half,
of
yeah.
July 1st, you could not just outright deny the license, it would have to go to summons and complaint?
Yes.
But because we haven't approved it, he can't technically open, but he still has a right to that
It
license.
hasn't been issued.
Yes. He's gotta,
Why don't you guys all come on over and take a look at it? I'm almost
Okay.
done.
That's not the point.
there's a property interest in it, yes, at this point. Especially since, I mean, yes, there was before, we revoked it, we gave it back, so he has a property interest in that license. And you would for the 17-18 one as well. Unless we revoke on the 16-17.
Which I don't think any of us are saying that we wanna do
Right,
at
and
this
I'm
moment.
not saying
Yeah,
anybody is
I'm
saying
just
that.
not in a position to say yes to a new license for him.
From my perspective, it wouldn't make too much of a difference, cause we're gonna have to move, there's gonna have to be a revocation process one way or the other. And if we don't use what's already been utilized for the findings of fact, it would have to be a new one, whether it's gonna be starting before August or after August, it's gonna have to be a finding, or summons a complaint and findings of fact. It's gonna have to be the same thing. Whether we say approve subject to today or you hold it.
So would we be better off just approving it today and starting the summons process immediately?
I mean,
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going at, or bring them in on the 11th, see where you're at, and start the summons and complaint.
I say let's.
Just wait till
That gives them
Let's
till
just-
August
Let's
1st.
just.
Wait till
let's just-
August.
Let's just hold this.
Yeah.
The next time we'll be voting will be in July, next time we can come up, you know, which is, like 2 weeks.
Maybe 3 weeks from his opening.
you know, So, right, and we'll go from there.
So we're not bringing them in on the 11th?
Oh, I think we should bring him in on
If
that.
you want
Okay,
to,
yep.
let's
Appearance
see how
for the
things go,
11th.
we can do it. Get that in? Okay. Any more questions? Okay, we're just gonna hold it and.
So bar and
So-
restaurant, fully
Yeah.
licensed and ready to go August 1.
All these holdings.
Providing everything goes good with the building department, yes.
Well, yeah,
No, no,
that's,
building,
we don't
building
care about
department
that.
will
We-
do their job.
that's your job to get.
That's your job.
to
That's
get
fine.
that right.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Thank you.
Someone else came in.
No, no people there. Please, I believe that's all we have?
Move to adjourn.
Was he?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are now adjourned.